Good afternoon, everyone. All right, let's get right into it. Did you know, according to quantum physics, our thoughts are the creation of reality? So, how to use your thoughts to manifest your physical reality? That's what we're going to get into right now. All right, thoughts. We all have them every single day. But let's show you how it works to manifest your world. So, there's three things we have to know. The universe and everything in it is made from a field. This is called the unified field or 0 point energy field. Okay? Once this field exists, everything from this field comes as physical reality. All right? 0 point energy field. Next point is the collective consciousness. We are all connected as a unified collective conscious network. Nothing is separate. Separation is an illusion. So how do thoughts create our world? Well, what is your world? You got to know what the world is. The world isn't physical. The world is electromagnetic. The world is frequency and waves that our brains process, and they become physical things or perceive physical things. That's why when you think something over and over, guess what happens? You start to see evidence of it. For example, if you're thinking about a red car every day, what starts to happen? Your brain starts to look for red cars. In effect, you just start seeing a lot of red cars all over the place. That is called the reticular activating system. That gets triggered by your subconscious or unconscious mind. You see, is when we think of something, it goes to our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind now takes what we think and starts to process it as reality. And this is through the law of physics and elements and particles. So if you want to use your thoughts to create your world, the first thing you have to do is start to focus on only what you want. When you focus on what you want, you are directing the universe to create what you desire. The thing about this universe thing is you are in it, you are part of it, and you have direct communication and say into manifesting it. How do you know this? Because you are an observer. The awareness is what creates the universe. So there's a thing in physics called the double slit experiment. You can research and look it up. Basically, nothing can exist without you paying attention to the existence. Your attention creates existence of what we call physical matter or physical real stuff. So you can actually use your thoughts to create the world, because again, what is the world? The world is frequency and waves, and our brains process it. Now, how do I create my world using these thoughts, Mark? Well, here's how you do it. You just can't sit and say, all right, I'm going to just think about manifesting money, and then that's it. Mm-mm. You have to create neural pathways. You have to get it into your subconscious mind. How do I get that into my subconscious mind? Here's the role of it. You have a couple minds. You have three minds, but let's talk about two. Logic mind. This is the mind you use to observe. That's the mind you want to use and give information to the subconscious. The more information, the more you repeat it, the more you stay on it, the more you use your imagination, the more you expect it, the more you let it go, the subconscious believes it's a real thing, it's tangible. Now what the subconscious does, it takes that thought information and starts to process it to become physical reality. And you can actually see evidence of this. Synchronicities. That's why you see synchronicities. It's the subconscious showing you and your brain showing you that, okay, we've tapped the frequency that you want to bring into your world. And then once you tap the frequency, the repetition stays on that frequency. When you stay on that frequency, you are creating what's called neural network or neural pathways. And your brain gets that. The brain fuses that frequency, and then you start to see that around you. And then not only see that, now you start to experience it as physical reality. Keep this in mind, guys. Everything exists on frequency waves. There's a frequency for love, for money, for success, for hate, for bad. There's all type of frequencies. Our brains are continually scanning and looking for that frequency. And we scan based on what we think about and what we say. Now here's the next component to that. Once we think a thought over and over, it becomes a belief. The belief is what creates the reality. So you need the thought activates the belief. The belief tunes into the subconscious. Your subconscious creates your world. Now, when you think only of what you want without figuring out how, that's the big missing link. Many people will think about what they want, but they also think about how am I going to get what I want. You're going to create a block or resistance. Your job is to think about what you want, use your imagination, see it as a fulfilled thing already happened. That's the subconscious takes care of that. Because you got to remember, we have different parts of our consciousness. We have higher and lower. Higher self, lower self. Lower self is known as your ego. Higher self is known as God, Christ, where you are consciousness. That's where you have to put the information. Many of us struggle to do that. And why do we struggle to do that? Because we've been conditioned to use our forefront mind, our conscious mind. Here's how it works. So let me set up the system very simple and easy and see so you can get it. The purpose of the conscious mind is to perceive the thought, observe the thought, pass it to the subconscious to create the thought as reality. That's it. Many people use their mind for this. They perceive the thought. They observe the thought, but they go extra further. They try to figure out how to get that thought to become reality. That's where you mess up. You don't do that. Because the reason you don't do that because the conscious mind, the physical part of the conscious mind cannot get you your big dreams and desires. Simply put, it's not programmed, it hasn't evolved for that. However, the subconscious mind, that's the pay grade for that. That's what it's designed to do. So it's a simple formula. You perceive it, you observe it, you let it go. And then have your mind do it. And look, the mind will even show you the signs. You'll get synchronicities. You get dreams. You get visions. These are all indications that is coming into your reality, people. So you see how your thoughts affect your world. So let's go a little deeper then, okay? So someone asked, what do you do in the meantime to distract yourself? The easiest way to distract yourself, guys, is to always think about something that makes you feel good. Train your mind to only focus on what you want. Now let's get deeper into this and show you how true this is. You have in your body, you have trillions and billions of cells. The cells in your body reflect how you feel and what you create. You've heard of the placebo effect. The placebo effect is convincing your mind that something you believe is to be true. People heal themselves by believing it. And that's because the mind sees that. So that is proof evidence that there cannot be a physical world, because if there's a physical world, it becomes a what? Objective world. Now we know it's a subjective world. It's based on my belief. Belief, right? Thought, think over. So if your cells in your body are programmed that way, your cells are programmed to believe what you think and see, guess what? Your physical world, bam, is programmed the same way. The issue is most people don't know how to apply this method. No one taught them how to do this in a systematic way to get the results. And I'll give you the biggest tip. The systematic way is you have to create a pattern. That pattern have to be consistent. Consistent enough that it impresses the unconscious. When the unconscious gets impressed, it starts to create reality. That's the missing link. How do I impress the unconscious? My imagination. Writing, speaking out aloud, thinking about it with no resistance, putting yourself in new situations, expecting it without looking for it. The continuous act of doing that, bam, instant creative manifestation. Okay? See how that works? How do I know it's being impressed? Great. Here's the next thing about that. So just see, the universe has an answer for everything you want to know about the creative process. So man, how do I know this stuff is working? Two things, very simple. This is how you will know when you have used your thoughts and your reality is about to come in. Your manifestation is about to be born. Here we go. Number one, you start to see those synchronicities. Those numbers that's been following you. They could be following you for years. Years don't exist. Remember that concept of time, but that's a whole nother video. That's number one. Number two, you will start to feel more optimistic. You'll have more hope. You'll have a little bit more motivation, and you'll see more be optimistic. Those are two signs. That's it. If you feel those, you're gonna know that it's about to come in. That's correct. The key point is the mind and the body, they don't know the difference between what is real or imagined. Go to the movies. Watch a scary movie. Your body will react just like it's in real life. You'll sweat, your heart will race, you'll have pounds, and even though you know it's fake on the movie, the body does not. Same thing with reality. You have to be able to use your mind to do that. Now, there's a but here. There's a but. The reason this don't work for a lot of people, because they may try this. Say, man, I've been doing this for years, man. I've been practicing mindfulness, law of attraction, spiritual stuff. But Mark, it's not working for me. Why is this not working? Let me tell you why it doesn't work. Because you're trying to control too much aspects of it. Here's what I mean by that. What they'll do the whole formula, their system. They'll project it. But the only thing they start to do is they start to get involved in it, trying to control it, when or how it's going to manifest. It's not going to work that way. It's like this, guys. You have to project it and then jump behind the scenes and watch it. It's hard for people to do that because of their ego. Remember, we're conditioned to control stuff. You have to do the opposite. Don't control. Let the universe do the control. You just ride the wave. It's called the flow state. See how it works? If you keep thinking something over and over, the mind and the body are going to believe it's happening, and then eventually the subconscious is going to project it as an experience. That's how it works in creative. Because everything is connected, everything comes from a thought, a wave, a potential, a probability, an actuality, and then becomes reality. That's the whole formula. So if you ask me, hey man, okay, so you said all this stuff, man, so what's the main point? Main point is use your mind to only think about what you want consistently without any resistance. Let it go. Watch from behind the scenes, and it will pop into your world. That's it. Got it? See you for our next one.